brain.
Podcast.
Rub Vaseline on a limb.
Patreon.
These guys are liberal filmmakers. They cannot be trusted.
What, no Q&A? Why do we have to see his fucking name in the movie?
I go mentally ill.
Instagram. Fassbender.
As a filmmaker, he is nothing. A zero. He's a pig piece of shit.
I found a picture of you.
Spike Jonze sucks bad. Wes Anderson sucks.
I check my world at night.
You are a creative. We get it.
To a place in the past. We've been
I always wear this bucket hat when I'm directing.
Never make a movie.
I'm my fucking line producer trust fund, baby. Let the creative people talk to the money people.
Don't make movies. I make
film.
back on the train.
This is a film.
Anything by Cassavetes.
I call it director juice.
M. Night Shyamalan.
On the chain gang.
Joe Schmo did the fucking food.
Reduced black ratio.
He hasn't made a fucking good film in 25 years.
Circumstance beyond our control.
Doritos bags look mad good.
Spike Jonze sucks bad. Robert Altman.
The phone, TV, and the news of the world.
I was obsessed with trash. The movie's trash, you know?
Got in the house like a pigeon from
James
hell.
Gray sucks. Left-wing politics.
Through sand in our eyes.
Fassbender.
We descended like
Make out with
flies.
girls.
Josh Sapke.
Put us back on the train.
Road Packer.
I'm crazy about sound.
What is this bullshit? Anonymous. Give me a break.
That we own.
There's a whole group of guys who pretend to be making special films.
Get me brackets.
I'm a straight up slut.
All right, how do we say your name exactly? Are we say Charles? Do we do Charlotte? Charlie?
What do you already call me?
I call you Charlotte. But
That's
then
fine.
I was hearing Steven go Charlie, and I was like, is it Charlie? Charles?
He calls me Crapbag too. My contact in his phone is Crapbag, but anything you want is fine.
Crapbag?
Yeah,
That's the name of the episode.
yeah, that's fine.
Well, you introduce yourself to me as Charles.
Okay, I mean, I like to establish an immediate sort of brotherhood with people, so I think I start with the nickname.
Yeah.
But whatever you want. Well, we can say whatever feels most comfortable for you.
Well,
We spent we went on a trip together, so I
We
feel like
did.
we're at
we should
a
get
stage.
listeners quick origin story actually, because I met you because Alex Huggins was taking a shit in my apartment and actually broke my toilet. And you
did he?
Yeah.
He actually broke it?
It's still pretty fun. It still doesn't work essentially. Like it's done. Like my toilet, I'm like, I think like he fucked the entire plumbing in the building up.
Well, that's a good excuse to get a Toto toilet, which, if you ask me, is the best toilet brand on the
Toto's
market
fire.
today.
Yeah.
Toilet brand?
Yeah,
You know
Japanese
what Toto?
toilet.
No. Is it one? Is it like the?
It's not like necessarily fancy. It's just like it's like the Coca-Cola of toilets.
Okay.
It's just
Well,
like
the
good
Japanese
shit.
ones have like the
You can get all
bidets built in and all this stuff, right?
All sorts of accessories, warming seats,
Warming.
bidets.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
a
think
big fan of the
TVs.
bidet.
Oh, I'm a big fan of the bidet.
You like that?
Yeah.
I don't fuck with that shit. You
Yeah.
like that shit?
No,
Really? It's
I
always
honestly
like-
don't. I don't really want to feel that way. No, that's like the exact opposite thing.
I like a hard toilet paper. I like to
Yeah.
get clean.
Absolutely.
I feel so clean.
That's what it's
for
for.
the day. That's
All
why I
right,
like
you
it.
fuck with the hard toilet paper, don't you?
I do. I hate soft toilet paper.
But then you go in again with toilet paper, right? You don't just
Yeah,
leave it
sure. But
wet.
it just
I don't
doesn't
want
finish
my
the job.
No, but it makes it
Right, you
feel
don't
actually clean. To me.
It's too much of like a shower to me.
It's like a reset. Yeah, that's why I like it.
All right, What the Fuck is really good, everybody. This is the Ion Pod. We're here with Charlotte Ercoli, Charles, aka Charlie, aka Crapbag.
Crapbag. I was gonna
Thank
say
you.
shitbag.
So you like movies, right?
I mean, no, I don't know. I like
What's your
some
shit?
movies.
You make music, you make movies.
You do it all.
No, I have been so curious. I've been excited to find out why I was asked to be on this show, but
Just 'cause
it's
we were
kind of
chilling.
it's
I
just
don't know.
because exactly. It's just so we can shoot the shit kind of.
We also ran out of people. We pretty much done a podcast with every
that's
single
what I
person on the
assumed.
face of the planet that we're interested in at this point. I'm actually being serious. I was like, yeah, Charlie seems sick.
Charles is in town, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
That's
you're,
great.
You're also in town doing film, which is our shit, I guess.
You're
Yeah.
writing?
Yeah, so to circle back to what we
To the
were
shit.
talking
circling
about,
back.
to
Yeah.
the shit story, to breaking your toilet.
Yeah.
I was here making a short film, whatever you want to
I
say,
bet you
with
were.
Alex Huggins
Yeah.
and Steven Garowitz
Big
and,
shouts.
Big
and
shouts.
Douglas Levison, who many people know as the trumpet fight fiasco man.
Right.
All-time goated video.
Yep.
And it's taken me a while to sort of finish that. It's been like 2.5 months or 3 months now, but I'm just putting music on it out here right now. I'm working with Franco Falsini from Sensations Fix,
Ooh.
which is my favorite band. of
Big
all time.
shouts.
Big
Love,
shouts.
love you, Franco Falsini. And
I didn't even know he lived
You're
here.
Italian. We should,
I am
we should
Italian.
mention that before we get too
Yeah,
far
you're-
in, so people keep listening.
Now everyone knows we have a lot of Italian pride on the show.
That's why we wanted you on, actually. Once I heard you were Italian,
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, dude, we got to get this
oh,
on the pod.
hell yeah. There you go. Well, I'm a half-breed, but that's good enough.
Yeah.
I
mean,
realized that, I mean, I know I talk about it so much, but I've never been more self-aware of that I'm half Jewish and Italian than when we were eating lasagna that I made that
Yeah.
night. I was like, I came on so heavy, insisting that I make a lasagna for you guys. And then the second it was time to serve it to you, I became violently neurotic and worried that it wasn't going to be good. And
you
like,
got Jewish, which is also Italian. You got, I mean, so they're very similar.
They are very
they're the
similar.
same.
The
They're the
the
same.
like, you know, the Jewish mother, the Italian mother
Yeah.
that wants to make sure the dinner's good. It's
Yeah.
a similar thing.
It's the same. But yeah,
That
Franco
lasagna was
Falsini.
fire, by the way. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you. I'll make a better one.
What's
next
the
time.
difference? Like, it's a Jewish mother says, "Eat this or you'll kill me," and an Italian mother says, "Eat this or I'll kill you." Right?
Oh, I've never heard that.
I might have gotten it mixed up, but it's one of those.
No, that sounds
Wait,
right.
say
Yeah.
that. Say that again. I blacked out during that.
A Jewish mother says, "Eat this or you'll kill me," and an Italian mother says, "Eat this or I'll kill you."
Yeah, that's right.
That's the
Okay.
difference.
No, that
Why
actually
But
does
that
does.
might have gotten it
But
mixed
why
up.
does
But
the
you could
Jewish
do
mother
it.
want you to kill her?
No, like you'll kill me if you don't eat this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe
Might
reverse.
be reversed.
You know
might be
what? It's,
reversed
inter-
then.
Might be
it's
reversed.
interchangeable. It's a
It is
reversible
interchangeable.
joke.
That's what
That's
it's
the point.
that's what we're saying. Same shit.
They're the same people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I feel like weirdly a lot of people in New York know who Franco is, and I don't know why or how that is.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but he's
He was big back in the day in the New York music scene. He was highly influential, like in like early 2010s, like
That's so
Altered
cool.
Zones era.
I love how you call it the New York music scene. That's like it's like as if it's like R.I.P. Like it doesn't, it's like
Well,
completely
it's
doesn't
completely
exist.
gone. It was like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
The,
I
like
do. We
hypnagogic
just talk
pop
about
era.
it as if like back when music existed in the
Right.
city.
Yeah, right.
that's so cool. He sort of has evolved from progressive rock into making house music only at this point. I mean, he merges both genres, but it's incredible. I highly recommend checking out what he's doing.
You said progressive house into rock.
He
rock.
went from
Progressive
progressive
rock
rock
into house.
into house music. He's a huge house lover and historian.
Yeah. I like when the guitar guys go electronic, like the Frusciante shit where he went kind of like IDM.
Yeah.
I was like, this is heat.
Well, that kind of like, well, you know, Sensations Fix were kind of this like krautrock hypnotic
yeah.
thing. It was dance music. I think is a logical progression when you're into that kind of trance-like state, extended jam thing.
He's so cool.
But you're here to write.
Yeah, so I'm putting music on the movie, and then I'm also writing my next feature, I guess you could say. I'm a director, and I've made no movies, by the way, but that's what I am.
But you're going to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always going to.
That's a real reason I think we
The
wanted
lo-
the pod to happen, because we were like, this girl's going places.
Yeah, getting on the ground floor. Yeah.
Thank you.
We like to break the star.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I feel like I'm always on the cusp of something really good about to happen, and whether or not people want to help produce my shit, I'm gonna do it anyway, and I don't care if it sucks. I'm a suicide bomber for like just making
Shit.
shit,
Yeah.
that I
Good.
want to make.
That's good spirit.
No,
Like-
we need that.
I think so. I mean, I think too many people. I'm joking when I say I haven't made anything. Like I haven't made a feature, but I like make
You've made mad
stuff.
shit. Yeah.
You made a movie about Los Angelinos.
I did.
Which we will be dropping alongside this episode.
I love that you guys didn't realize that I was in on the joke. You thought that I was really trying to figure it out.
He thought I didn't think that.
You didn't?
No, I
But
know.
when like just last weekend you said I wasn't sure if you knew if that.
That's true. But every time I remember the video, because I remember, well, I shouldn't actually say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't talk about it really.
No. The point is that I've known who they are, and they didn't know that I knew that for a while. I kept that on the down low, and I made a fake documentary at their last party trying to.
It's a real documentary.
Very real documentary trying to get to the bottom of who the Island Pack is.
It's like a Laura Poitras documentary. It reminds me a lot of like Citizen 4, and it's really
Thank
good.
you.
Do you mind spinning the mic? I hate that. You see that the fucking
right.
peeled off.
I was doing it on the
keep the
one
black
side,
keep the black square towards your body.
I'm gonna be really worried about.
Well, I thought people were gonna think that's the black square. Do you know what I mean? Like the.
Oh, that's really abstract.
Yeah, that's how my mind thinks.
Yeah, no
It's
one
like
else
people are
is
gonna
like
think we're like making a joke or something.
It's really avant-garde.
It is, right?
Yeah.
But for the Alex Lee Moore, I was like, it's good to keep that. I don't know why. All right, so you're writing. So it is going to be a feature, though.
So this is what happened. I wrote this feature that's called The Misunderstanding, and I have a guy in Los Angeles that I've been filming sort of proof of concepts for that with for a year and a half now. His name is Flannery, and he's one of the most enigmatic, incredible people in Los Angeles. He's like a reincarnation of Gene Wilder and one of the last people that know about like Jean Harlow and weird old Hollywood stuff. He's like just an unreal person. And I wrote this vehicle for him, and I've been like ramping up to making this feature, and I thought it was going to happen multiple times, yada, yada, yada. And I came out here in July to shoot a scene at the Friars Club with him, with Douglas Levison. And 3 days before the shoot, he couldn't make it because he's just not psychologically necessarily in a place right now, unfortunately, where he can be working on movies.
Right.
He's homeless and has some drug problems that we've been trying to help him get on his feet, and I'm not trying to make a heaven knows what style movie.
It sounds
so
familiar. Yeah.
it's like I was like, I did not set out to make heaven knows what. Like, it was not the case when we started.
Right.
And leading up to the shoot and flying to New York, I was like going to a shelter every day to work with him on this and like trying to keep both of us focused on our goal. But it just ended up falling through 3 days before the shoot. And Alex Huggins, he was like, I don't know why, but I feel like you would just love Steven Gurewitz. I know you know, I'm assuming you.
Mm-hmm.
And you should let's just see what happens. So Steven flew out from Minnesota the night before this shoot.
Steven's got some Gene Wilder energy.
He does.
In a way.
I mean, he's like the last 70s character actor left, I'm pretty sure. Steven's unbelievable.
Like, what era were you born in? Like, how are you like this?
It's because he's a small towner.
Yeah.
You don't meet a lot of people like him. I don't know, but
he's a real man.
Yeah. yeah. And we ended up shooting the proof of concept with him instead of the guy that like the movie's actually about.
Right.
So it's just turned into something completely different that is really great and I'm excited about, but I have no idea what to do about the rest of the movie now.
Just what, Steve?
It might just have to be Steven. It might just have to be Steven.
He's compelling enough, in my opinion.
I think so.
He's obviously not like he's not homeless and all that, but
no, and I don't need that. Like I don't. It's not like that
director's
director's content meme that says like I see poverty and I must film it. It's not like
There's a lot of that out here.
I'm not trying to.
They got that from us also.
And like I love those movies. I'm not knocking that, but it's just not what I'm
that's the irony there is that heaven knows what is great.
Oh my god, no!
Just maybe the way that it went down could have been a little bit better. But
I briefly lived with Harley when that movie was like she came to Los Angeles when they were wrapping that up, and I didn't know who any of these people were. But
yeah. Well,
so
Ilya didn't play himself. That ended up being an actor. So like if you do Ilya to Caleb Landry Jones pipeline, you go from your guy to Steven Gurewitz pipeline.
True.
It is like that.
Right there, yeah.
There is value. I am learning to to working with professional actors. I was sort of against that just because I'm really real person driven. Like I meet someone and I'm like, can I come over and film you for a day? That's usually how things start.
Right.
I've never I'm not super imaginative and creative. So I don't really write a story and then like cast someone to be in it. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So like casting an actor, Steven, has been just like a brand new and beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There is value to both sides of that.
How did you first get in touch with Doug?
Oh my God. Okay, so I was in high school and he was standing outside no, just kidding. I was in high school. Somebody sent me the video. I just saw it somehow, and I cannot remember exactly what happened, but at the end of this search, I ended up finally finding him on LinkedIn because I had heard that he had a company called Flower Power Creative. So once I knew that, it was really easy to find him because it's him and his roommate, Neil. And I got in touch with him and I said, do you want to meet me at the Yale Club?
Nice.
And he was like,
Are you a member
yeah,
of the Yale
absolutely.
Club?
And I met him at the Yale Club when I was a teenager and just spent like one day with him filming stuff and interviewing him and getting to know him. And then
how do you have access to the Yale Club?
Well, it's a funny story. My grandpa was a member of something during 9/11 and it got destroyed. And then as like a compensation for that,
Whoa.
They gave him access to the Yale Club, even though he's a Jew and like he's like the only Jew there. It's the waspiest place ever.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, you're like, how many?
They let one in.
But I was there for my grandfather's birthday, and like
Right.
that's kind of was my excuse to meet Doug. I spent the whole trip with
So
him
you were
instead.
grandfathered in.
I what?
You were grandfathered in.
I grandfathered
You
him?
were grandfathered into the Yale Club.
Yes, exactly, into the Yale Club. I know, that's such a weird place to meet someone.
No, it's an incredible backdrop to you meeting him there.
Oh my God.
Specifically.
He was so much warmer. I mean, enormously warmer than what I was expecting because of that video of him. I've never met a more enlightened and warm human being. He's been doing transcendental meditation for 40 years. Next week will be his anniversary.
Same.
He's like, yeah, I can tell. But yeah, that was an amazing person to meet. And that's just sort of kicked everything off.
Yeah. Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how much of do you know any more details about the backstory from his rant walking Bob
Yeah.
Dylan on stage? It's all true. I assume it's all true.
I mean, I've been over this with him before, but it's been a long time now. But I know that it took place. I mean, I don't want to.
Is he listening?
He's your next door neighbor.
Are you what?
He's your next. He lives on the one over from you.
Oh, wow.
Like
How we never
you-
where I live specifically.
Yeah, where
not
you
here.
live. He's your neighbor. So, and there's I think it's a Holocaust memorial somewhere around there.
say, yeah.
And he was walking around there, and there was a guy playing trumpet on a high holy day.
Wait, that clip
Oh,
is
that's
filmed
why.
in my neighborhood?
Yeah, right there.
Wow.
It's right there.
I need to rewatch it because I obviously saw that before I lived there, but that's crazy.
And he's just such a big music fan. He was like, if you're going to like be playing music at this holy site on this day, like at least do it well. I think there were just a lot of things ticking him off about it. It was like the wrong place at the wrong time to be doing it and just not good enough in his eyes. I think if it had been to his standards, maybe. But he also is not a jazz guy. He really despises jazz music.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've gone through periods of my life where I'm with him on that.
Really?
But not right now, but there have been times where I'm just like, no jazz for me.
That's funny.
But
I
how do you
love
feel
it.
about that? Are you a jazz guy? I feel like we're both weird about it.
Well, I studied it, and I actually I fluctuated with how I felt about it while studying it. But post music school, I've come around.
There's
I
heat.
really
There's
like it.
heat throughout jazz.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more heat.
I just
jazz.
don't like jazz guitar. Is what I realized.
Yeah.
That's
good.
that was why.
I can't even think of any jazz. What, like Django Reinhardt music or something? I can't think of guitar.
Herbie Hancock.
Oh, okay.
Like you're talking about what's jazz guitar?
I mean, I just nothing. When I think of what's
guitar?
jazz for me, which
Yeah.
I love jazz so
Yeah.
much, I don't think of any guitar music at all.
No. Yeah. It's usually like trumpets and shit.
Yeah, piano, horns.
Yeah. Miles Davis shit.
Yeah, like going
Yeah.
back to the goated, like heroined out, like
Yeah.
wild
Yeah.
stuff. That's what's good. Yeah, but then when you have to study jazz guitar in music school, it's not. I grew to resent it a little bit, but I've come around since then.
But you live in LA.
I mean, I don't live in. I mean, yes, I live in LA, but I don't do anything there.
Yeah, that's what you said. You're pretty antisocial there.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we're very social there. More social than we are in New York.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like every one of you guys are getting together all the time. I've already gone back to my reclusive ways after just 3 weeks of living here. I've already just not seen anyone except Steven for a long period of time. But why
You
is
did take
that?
a trip out into the woods for no reason.
That's
essentially.
that's right.
Because the vibes are off.
Yeah. Do you sense that the vibes are off here?
No, I don't at all. What?
Good.
Go into detail with that. Maybe it's because people are
I
from
think it's a
LA.
feeling that only comes from proximity of like the people that live here. I think the same goes for people in LA
Because
too.
too many people from LA like me are coming out here. I mean,
thought
honestly,
you lived here. Like my perception of you was that you were here.
that's cool.
No, that's cool. That's what you want, right?
Yeah, I would like to curate a facade,
York.
a New York kind of facade. Yeah, that's my new identity that I've curated.
But why do you come here to write? Like, do you find it helps?
Well, I think it is just nice having a change of scenery, but also, I don't know, I have less responsibilities, of course, when it's just me by myself and I don't really know that many people here. I just feel more alone, but I also feel more stimulated at the same time just by like going across the street to get groceries. And whereas in Los Angeles, everything is such an appointment and to do. But I don't know, I feel connected to this place because my family's from here. I don't know. I've always, and
which
there's
part
just
are
so
they
many.
from?
I'm sorry.
Where are they from?
Just from New York and Boston. Like I just have a
Yeah.
lot of East Coast family,
Yeah.
and
You
it
have East
feels
Coast
good.
energy, actually. Yeah.
Everybody says that,
Yeah, you do.
and
You don't
that's
seem
really
like
interesting.
An LA gal to me.
I mean,
It's a compliment.
it's just thank you. I mean, I am
gal
a thoroughbred Californian, I guess.
Hmm.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, the way that people make videos and movies and music here, they're operating on such a different level than they are in Los Angeles. Like you can't really make anything unless it's like a gig in LA. Like everything
Yeah,
is
that's
so
true.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like there's a really nice community or scene out there. And I feel like if I want to make something, there are like 10 people that just feel passionately about doing that for fun, and we all have just a really good time. Not that
Yeah.
people don't like get paid or whatever, but it's just like a different sort of community of people that are more gung-ho.
Right.
Like Alex Huggins, for example. I mean, he's such an amazing person in that way. He is working all the time and helping people do things. I don't know.
He's working on breaking people's toilets.
Yeah, he should work on fixing that toilet is what he should be
He's
working
45
on.
minutes deep into that work.
Yeah.
No, big shouts to you, Alex.
Yeah, we love Alex Huggins.
But do you think that that's just like a film? Because like I think we've
I
kind
think
of
it's
like
just a film thing.
determined the difference on the pod. Like we kind of talk about this a lot, which is
Okay.
that like I am attracted to New York, I think, because I feel that sentiment that you're talking about with
Yeah.
regards to film. And you kind of have toes in both pools with music and film. And are you coming here for the film or are you coming here for the music?
I mean, I'm not really coming here for either of those things, but because I'm not actively like in production on anything, I'm just sort of here to like sit with myself and write. But definitely, if it was one of those, definitely film. I feel like I have like an established sort of crew of people that I work with out here already after just one like little project that we did.
Yeah.
I don't have anything like that in Los Angeles.
Well, that's what I feel like Ion 1 maybe kind of has in Los Angeles. And this is something I've been trying to unbiasedly sort of inspect what's going on here. And I think it has something to do with being from the opposite coast and there being sort of an excitement about you switching coasts. And like spiritually, you're a little bit more open because you're not living your life. You're kind of exploring possibilities and opportunities.
It's like the exciting new kid at school or something. You're saying like they associate you guys with sort of exciting New York sort of movies being made, and they're like, oh, we want to be a part of that.
You're like an exotic animal because you're like from the other place.
But then there's also I agree with that. But then there's also a simpler explanation in that there isn't music here.
Do you think there's no music here?
I mean, I've gone to see a lot of live jazz here, but as far as like the music scene being here,
not really.
Well, I mean, there are certain, I don't know. I feel like friends of mine, like, I don't know.
Like who?
Like James Ferraro and Natalie Maring and I feel like I mean, it's hard to tell. I don't know if they're from here or if they just like landed here briefly, but I feel like there are some pretty important musicians.
Yeah, but all of them, well, I guess Ferraro's back now, but that whole scene moved west.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Why?
I've been trying to figure that out.
It's probably easier to play and book shows in a more sprawling landscape than New York. I don't know.
I feel like the last holdout of music people that I knew from the first half of the 2010s. I'm like the last one left here.
Really?
Yeah.
What about me, bro?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm still here.
That's right.
It's very strange. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess this thing's coming waves.
I honestly think it's a biological thing. I think when you like, you spend your 20s in New York, like there's a biological. I think just even if you're not an artist, I think people just like want to own land and like be in big space. Like they want to like spread out. And New York is such a condensed experience that LA feels so like such a relief after.
That's interesting.
Years of being like,
But I also
sardine.
thought it was interesting to think that you said that you're what did you say? You're a suicide bomber for doing things.
I mean, yeah.
That's an LA attitude that I think is actually, well, can probably be annoying if the wrong person's doing it, but ultimately I think is probably a good thing. I think people are way more precious and guarded about their output out here. I think that has had a negative impact
in New York.
Really?
Yes. No, I
absolutely
completely disagree.
Yeah,
in LA, everybody wants to be pushing everything they're doing all the time, and it gets really annoying.
New York
and thirsty
is like the most ruthless, thirsty, brutal place there is.
I see what you're saying, but I think it's disagree. I'm talking more about people being I'm a suicide bomber for my personal projects of things that I like doing. In Los Angeles, people are suicide bombers for making it on a corporate level or right. in a different way, and I feel like, and that's what I'm saying about people in New York and the film scene here. People really love it, and they're just doing it, even if they're like breaking their backs and not getting paid or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's a community of people that are just doing it, and they're suicide bombers, and I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Going back to your feature, because I think it's an interesting thing that I've been thinking more and more about.
My unborn feature.
Your unborn feature that you had your star for, but you feel like you need to change your star. I feel like from whatever little experience I've had doing film shit, I think the ultimate challenge of filmmaking is solving problems. Like I think that like you come up with this grand idea in your head that will never truly become 100% reality, and it's about you adapting to what the universe is giving you. Yeah,
I mean, we're professional Tetrisers, basically.
Yeah.
Is all that it is. And I've never had anything I don't care enough about things generally. I'm like very malleable, and as a human being, like if something collapses on set, like I don't know. I really I move with whatever's happening, but that's the first time that I've ever had something that pivotal change right before a shoot. And even in the moment, I was excited by it, even though I spent 2 years like with such a clear idea of what I was doing. Like it was this guy playing himself. Like, you
Yeah.
can't have a more specific thing than that. But when it fell through, I felt like titillated by it. I was like, oh my God, I feel so like lucky that this kind of chaos is what I'm doing. And like, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what the hell I
It's
do.
exciting.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, we talked about this last episode. The PTA don't look back thing.
Yeah.
It's very important, and it's actually really thrilling when you learn to adopt that attitude.
Don't look back.
But explain the PTA
There's like
quote.
this article about Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh,
And they're interviewing his teacher or something, and they were like, after Magnolia came out, we reached out to, somebody close to him to see if he would give an interview about the movie or whatever. Like, would he be interested in coming back to the school to talk about it? And the person's response was, Paul doesn't go back.
I love it. No,
But yeah, it's like it does speak
Yeah.
to like he clearly had to push himself
right.
past
Because
things.
I used to be like an extremely nostalgic. Well, and maybe my instinct is still to be extremely nostalgic, and I don't know. I realized that my mind creatively and just spiritually felt way better when I was stopped caring about like holding on to trajectories or ideas very hard, even on a
Yeah.
small level. I'm just like,
yeah.
oh, I have to move for some reason, or I have to like get rid of this thing, or like this thing stopped working. I have to try. I'm like, kind of just, who cares?
yeah.
There's some disruption in like my ritual for whatever reason. I
Yeah,
have to
and-
change to adapt to some new schedule or something like that. It used to like really drive me insane, especially because I'm pretty OCD. So it would really drive me insane. Then until I learned to just be like, it's randomly sick.
One of the best moments of my life recently was the night before July-anized our party at Russian Samovar, which featured Alex Huggins, Abel Ferrara, amongst other friends, friend of the pod, Daniel. We were doing a sound check, and they have this like old wiring system. It's like through the wall. There's like a 4-point system, and we kept trying to get the music to work. And like you could hear like a loud like, and it was like you could kind of hear the music like behind this loud thud, and he just looked and we were both like fuck, and like most people in my life, I think both of us, we would kind of at least panic for like 5 or 10 minutes or something. Like everybody would sort of be like, oh fuck, like what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And Daniel just looks at me and smiles and is like, it's going to be a long night, buddy.
That was sick.
No, and I remember being really stoked. I was like, wow, that's his reaction to that. That's so cool.
I know.
Like this giant problem. We spent the next 10 hours going to Guitar Center, buying an entirely new sound system, rewiring the entire thing. But it was like, it became this like adventure. It was like, well, that's what, I mean, at least we're here. We got to do it.
That's
But he
the
was
thing, is that
pumped
things
about it.
always work out because they have to. And that's just what it is to be a suicide bomber kamikaze pilot. You just figure it out because you have to.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
There's
You just
something
enjoy
about doing
it.
it with a smile that's really exciting.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
so fun.
Word. Yeah,
No,
bring it on.
it is titillating because it really is just like, I don't know. It's like a fucked up sort of titillation. Absolutely. Like when things really hit rock bottom, you're like, yes, now things are really getting started.
Yeah, it's great. I love shit fucking up.
Thriving in chaos is.
I can't wait
what
for
we're all
more
about.
shit to fuck up. It's gonna be great.
No, because there's almost nothing more boring in life if everything's just smooth sailing. It's like
Yep.
it gets boring. It's like there's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to like adapt your mind or your spirit to. Like it's really it's a test of the self when like something's really fucking up. How are you going to adapt to it?
Well, there's kind of an age-old, like, artist truism of like giving yourself, deadlines and constraints is actually really freeing, and it helps kind of organize your creative direction and thought process. It's a similar kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I definitely need structure. I mean, personally, I have a really hard time with like I'm so, as I said, loose with like the way that I make things. Like I'm not an aesthetic person at all. I do not think about the way shots look on a beauty level. And I'm trying to elevate my work without compromising like the sort of, not chaos. Like I don't think it's chaos. It's so organized in my opinion. But with the sort of freedom, it's like an illusion of freedom that I like to create on sets because I spend so much time Tetrising beforehand that there's a facade and an illusion of freedom there. I guess
I love the Tetrising
It is
terminology. Did you
Tetrising.
get that from somewhere, or did you come up with that?
My friend Laura, who is she's a designer. She has to like come up with outfits for shoots. There's like hundreds of things, and she always says I have to Tetris like all these clothes, and I'm like, that's good. Like we're all sort of Tetrising in our own way.
Might be the name of the episode. Tetrising.
Tetris.
Pretty fucking sick.
But no, but that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Like people looked at these things when things fuck up, which inevitably happens every single time you have to do anything big, as chaos. When it's not really chaos, it's like another constraint or like thing to figure out. In that same way that people love to talk about how constraints are actually good, time limits, deadlines.
They breed creativity.
It's another. It's just think of it like that.
Because you need everybody needs some stress. Obviously, you don't want to feel nothing.
Yeah, they like function as structure in that way. So that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I second that.
I can't wait for something to fuck up really hard on Sunday, October 31st.
That's true. Which you're coming to?
Yeah, I'm running. I'm the heart and soul of that event. Are you kidding me?
Big reveal.
Well, this
will come out. Yeah, when does it come
before.
Out?
Yeah, when are you guys announcing this?
We always announce it like 10 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's what we've always done.
Are you kidding me?
That's why we do like a soft announce like this, so people are intrigued.
Oh wow!
People kind of know about it from this, and then.
So it's not going to be like the last one where that like everyone knew about that way before.
No,
right?
No, it's going to be like.
No, we announced that the day before.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I know it's a little frightening. I don't want it to get shut down, but.
I'm so excited.
But I'd be excited by something fucking up.
I would be.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Well, I kind of liked the idea of, we can spoil it now because it's not happening, of you getting kidnapped in the middle of this podcast, which
wait, what was up with that?
Which would have been chaotic.
Man, I thought she was under this whole time.
No, we don't have her tonight.
Yeah.
We don't have Steven either.
Damn, that's too bad. That's
I would have
really
loved
too
to
bad.
break
It's a
the
shame.
form of the Static Shot, though. I would have loved to like follow you out, like. Really
Oh my
break
god!
the-
I mean,
know.
I have to admit, like,
proscenium.
I was so worried about this on the train over. I was like ransacking my mind for bits I could do and like all sorts of like things to talk about. And I was like, at least Maddie's gonna kidnap me in the middle of the episode, so something valuable happens.
You do a lot, but you do a bit. You like people doing bits. We were watching Steven
I do
a
a
bit. Yeah, I feel like you're in bits.
I do. I love bits. Yeah.
Like I feel like you're making movies about people who kind of do bits.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing a bit.
There are a lot of failed comedians in my family, so I think I appreciate comedy as a subject, but I also resent comedy a lot.
Why? I just got into it.
I love all I do.
I'm serious. I'm dead ass. I just got into it.
You just got into laughter.
No, just like it is like a serious, like kind of like artistic pursuit. Like I think it just feels. Yeah, it is. What was I making comedies when I was younger?
But like Stella. I feel like Stella.
No. I always appreciated them, but I never had any artistic desire to be involved with comedy.
Yeah.
No, I do. No, it's not
Right.
gonna
Everyone
happen, but
loves to laugh and to
it's the best shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't respect it, and I also respect it more than anything in the world. Like all I do is watch roasts and read about like old comedy legend. Mort Saul, unfortunately, he's a legend. He died today. He
Big
influenced
shout
some of
to
the
RK.
greats. But it's just sometimes, like if I were to go to a place like the Comedy Cellar, my first instinct is to try not to laugh because I know that that's why they're up there, is to make
Right.
me laugh, and like the stubborn a-hole in me is like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. That's always been my problem with I've almost never been to stand-up comedy unless it's like some big, act or whatever. But just like the concept of going to a comedy club, I'd love to be into it. But yeah, like something about the dynamic of
wanna give
like
it a shot.
we're here to laugh. Like we're here to watch him or her be funny.
It's
You know
like
what I mean? It's
getting
like,
a massage. It's like going to have a sensation or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it's interesting that we're all just sort of corralling in there to have a laugh. But I love it. I love it. I'll see comedy every night of my life if I can. It's
you
a
were making
weird
Steven do
relationship.
comedy for you in the woods.
I wasn't. I don't have to make him do anything.
No, we were just sitting there because there's this room that like doesn't have a TV. I mean, it has a TV, but we didn't have it on. And there's like kind of nothing to do in the room. There's like a Scrabble board. There's nothing really. It's sort of like a sitting room.
It's a living room.
Yeah, it's a living room. I guess we don't have those here in New York, really. But
Rooms for living.
no, well, in New York, it's sort of like the room with the TV in it. That's like you know what I mean. There's no.
It's like a
reading
game room,
really,
family
unless
room.
you're
Yeah, it's
way
a.
out there.
Family rooms are different from living rooms, though. Which What's
the living room in my house, you didn't go in. There was a piano in it.
Right.
It was sort of like, we don't go in that room. It's like
suburban
looks
model. It's like the living room is kind of staged thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's like
or it's like if you're
flower in the
entertaining
corner.
guests, they'll live in the living room.
Yeah,
but if you're like with the family,
that's true. It's for guests.
It's
the recreational
family room.
guest
It
space.
becomes more casual. It's like you can leave board games around, and there's like all the DVDs and shit are in there. Right.
Yeah, this is essential. This is kind of a living room.
Living room.
Okay.
And
Scrabble board is giving me family room energy though.
I know it was the original family room until we built on the side of the house a new family room, and this became the living room.
Okay.
My dad is very dictated by like the size of the TV in the room. So whichever room has the biggest TV in it is a family room. Like that's where he wants to be.
Oh yeah.
Where we watched hardcore.
Where
that
we
was the
watched
family room.
hardcore. Okay, I understand that. That definitely had the biggest television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old. It's from like 04, but it's kind of sick in a weird way.
What was up with the DVD though?
Oh yeah, the Blu-ray. Yeah, I think it was Arrow Blu-ray.
Was
or
it the
something.
player or the DVD?
Can't tell, but I was in a way it was fun. It would like pause like every like maybe 5 minutes or something, and it would go frame by frame, and it was actually kind of like one perfect shot mode. Now
We're gonna
look at these neons.
We're
Like,
producing.
it was sick.
We're making a movie about this. If anyone's interested in auditioning for playing Ion 1, who's Ion 1 and who's Ion 2?
1, 2.
Ion 2 is gonna star in this film.
What is it about?
It's about what you just said. We're
Oh,
making a
okay.
movie about it.
No, that's not good. No, but what was interesting to me, and it's like something that like kind of almost rarely happens in my life anymore, is like we all sat in a room for like maybe 2+ hours with no form of entertainment other than like Steven doing a bit. And it was really beautiful.
It was
and
beautiful.
I wanted for nothing. Like I was completely captivated, and it's like it's a rare thing to kind of have that be your entertainment. It's just like your friend or talking.
It was like a kabuki theater sort of performance. He kept coming out as different people.
And none of us got bored. None of us none of us were like, we should go do this. We were just sitting there watching Steven like kind of do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, because there's not enough of that. There's not enough of just hanging out with your, I don't know. I don't ever do anything like that. Was the point of the trip. Was just to hang out and do bits in the family room and in the recreation room.
I find that to be kind of a West Coast thing. Like that's something I got more of when we went out to LA, was just like hanging out for long periods of time. Like New York is pretty like snappy. Like
there are a lot of house parties, that's for sure.
Yeah. Which you stay at because you don't want to fucking go to 45 minutes away yet.
Yeah.
Something to be said for that.
There is something to be said for that. It kind of like it places you. It just makes you more present from moment to moment. Like New York, it's the New York.
I hate the fact that
bullshit.
you have to like move around every 5 seconds here. It drives me nuts.
It is annoying.
So that is not as charming after a while, is what you're trying to say.
Not at all.
We've been here
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do love it. I see it as like it's like a sort of a painful place to be, but like I know that's like where I've gotten anything done in my life pretty much. But we got a decent amount done in LA too. What I think my main overarching thesis really is just that it's all really relative to where you've spent time
And what you're doing.
era in your life and what you're doing. Yeah, because these fucking like Wall Street people, they love it here.
Yeah,
It's a playground.
you
It's
could
a
never
fucking
put
mall.
them in Los Angeles or anywhere else.
No, they'd be bored instantly.
I mean, I think that they would just combust.
Yeah, they need like Coke and stocks and their little apps and all this bullshit.
The thing that I've probably said this before, so sorry if I've said this before, but the divide that really is curious to me is everyone I know in LA, for the most part, they're pretty relatively successful at what they do.
Yeah.
It's very,
they're older too.
very
though.
true, but very active in what they do. They like live comparatively well. They have a nice place. They have space.
Healthier. I
Yeah,
guess.
they're much healthier. Everything that, from my perspective, looks like they have a much better lifestyle than I do. But they're all like, nah, like you don't want to come here. It's like it's so like.
It's because they've been living there. They're
But then everyone I have, all my friends in New York, live horribly. They live in disgusting apartments. They are almost, I'd say like 3/4 of people I know have an alcohol problem. 100% of them besides you, have a coke problem. But they're like, why would you ever want to leave best fucking city on earth? From my perspective, I'm like, you look like you have like a horrible lifestyle. You look like I don't know how you can maintain this. I guess
It's
But
fun.
really,
It's fun.
that
Fun
split
hell.
is
Fun
really,
hell.
really crazy.
Can
to
you
me.
tell this man's moving west?
Yeah.
Would you like to switch apartment? No, just kidding. But
Well,
I feel like people.
That's actually it's in the car. It's in the cards actually.
No, I'm just kidding. But people are healthier on a much more superficial level.
Yeah,
They
in
all
a
have the
vanity
same
sense, yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
Even worse. I mean, it's just on an individual level, I feel like everyone's really friendly, but just the culture there is dour and sad and not as lively and kind as New Yorkers. I don't know. It's all superficial.
I have noticed like a real superficial like I actually didn't even know that it was superficial, but like a upfront kindness. I'm like, hey, how's your day going? Like something I would never be asked in the city. In the 12 years that I've lived here, like
I
nobody
feel
ever
like
asked me how
that
my
would be
fucking
asked
day
in the
was.
city. I feel like
It's like move. Like that's what I hear here. It's like honk. It's like beep. Like that's my main shit here.
yeah, but people are much more friendly here.
But you're
It's
actually
just
right. I think people
scary.
kind of New York in a way kind of has your back, and LA. No, there's. I am suspicious of kindness in LA. I always have been.
I really have the complete opposite of this experience. This is really wild for me.
Go out there for a little bit. And
Yeah,
see how
do
you
it.
feel in
Yeah,
a
do
while.
it. Then get back to us. We'll do a follow-up
Yeah, let's
interview
do the
about it.
follow up. See how it went.
Yeah.
I'll do 6 months there.
Yeah.
6 months.
So who are your guys?
Who are my guys?
Yeah.
What in
Yeah,
what
like
way?
your film guys
Or gals.
or gals.
Are you talking about like
Just say
movies that
I
I
just want to know
Using the
about the
gender
guys.
neutral guys.
who are like what movies do I love is what
Yeah.
you're asking me?
What do you fuck with? 'Cause
Yeah,
we
like,
didn't really talk about that.
what's like getting you going?
I feel like the common denominator of all of the movies I really like are just about like moron guys hanging out and doing weird things. Like my number one favorite movie is The King of Comedy because like Jerry Lewis. First of all, is like what I grew up on and means so much to me. The movie I made with Steven is about Jerry Lewis, sort of. It's called Little Jerry. And so when I found out about The King of Comedy and like about Jerry Lewis getting kidnapped by Robert De Niro, like that, I couldn't believe that was a movie. And that was only like 5 years ago that I saw and heard about that movie.
So then when you saw Joker, you must have really been fucked up.
I didn't. I don't know how I felt about that. I mean, it wasn't like a not enjoyable movie, but it made me a little bit. I felt weirdly like territorial over The King of Comedy, and I was
totally
like, "How
fucking with
dare
you.
it?"
I'm not pushing
yeah.
Joker right now at all.
But so The King of Comedy is my number one, and then after that, I'd say forever just being John Malkovich is my that was like my first favorite movie ever.
It's one of the sickest. It's so
good.
fire.
And I'm really lucky because I got to grow up with an uncle that's like a crazy good editor, and he cut that movie. He was like one of the editors.
You're telling me that.
He
That's
cut
so
JFK.
sick.
That talk radio. Like this
I need
guy
this-
is a
I
legend.
I need
Love
this
that movie.
guy's number.
Yeah, no, I'll give it. I'll give it to you after the show. But
Hire him to edit these one take shots.
Yes. just to slap his name on it. But he's like shown me everything that I like, and I don't know. I just think he's a god, basically.
Did he
and
teach you? Did he give you any editing tips? Did he show you any?
I mean, the thing is that like as a kid, he would always take me to the to post where he was working and stuff, and I could watch it. He would show me how to use Avid, but like sad to say, I don't feel like he actually taught me how to edit, but just overall as in my taste and what I think
You're
is
a new
good.
school editor. You're like Premiere. You're not an Avid.
No, Avid was the first thing I
Oh, you did
learned
learn
actually.
that. Okay.
Because this is so odd, but 2 years ago I worked in reality television, which is just such a strange like turn that my life took briefly. And so I was all Avid working in a reality TV company. And that's how I started.
It's not a unique hot take, but reality TV, or at least the good ones, have some of the most next level editing.
Oh my God,
yeah.
no, those people do black magic. I mean, they are so good at what they
They're
do.
So funny.
Yeah.
And I was not anywhere near that level, and I knew that, and they knew that, and like I have no future in
I
reality
actually
TV.
think
I'm
it's like
not
the
that
most
talented.
virtuosic
It is. Well,
editors
it
work
is.
in
It's
reality
so much-
television.
Not only is it funny, but it's like they always are creating this kind of false sense of drama via kind of out of context,
And, like weird
snippets
music
of people's
cues and
faces.
shit, like
Yeah,
stock
yeah, yeah,
music,
yeah.
like
You know what? They
drone
have
shots and
teams of
shit.
like 30 story producers on those shows. So you kind of have to hand that to the producers.
Right.
It's not all just the editors, but what the editors do that I cannot do this. But they're like all the bells and whistles, all like the weird transitions and video effects and plugins, like they know how to make things look a certain way that
Yeah.
I could never do that.
And when people ask me for editing recommendations, I've moved on from saying "In the Blink of an Eye" by Walter Murch to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Honestly,
Those
because that's where
people-
we're at. I'm actually serious. That's where we're at with editing now. It's like this is the new mode.
Yeah.
This is the new language.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely right. I'm a reality TV fan. I tune into The Bachelor at 8 p.m. every Monday night, and I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I
They've got some
really look
good
forward to
editing
it.
going
I
on.
also feel like the kind of
Not for the editing, though.
feel like the reaction, the rise of the reaction GIF kind of
Yeah.
informed reality show editing, because there's lots of like looking for faces and moments that can be kind of
Oh, cutaways. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big in the you say GIF.
GIF,
GIF.
whatever.
I say GIF.
Whatever, yeah.
I still don't know which one's right, but
Well, I actually think in a way it was like this is actually part of what like my grad school fucking
yeah.
dissertation thing was about. Was that like reality TV kept bringing us to a faster and faster pace, which kind of developed into like the internet meme, which is essentially like
Yeah.
Multiple ideas contained in one image. There's
Right,
no
right.
cut. It's immediate.
Mhm.
Like we've accelerated to this point where like the joke, the idea is communicated in a bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The promos have gotten shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
Wait
true.
till you see our fucking flyer.
Oh, I
for
can't wait.
Halloween.
Yeah.
We gotta level it up a little bit, but even
Think so?
that, like it's like the way we think about dropping something is like for maximum impact, and I think that no, I'm actually serious. It's just I'm like you want it to like hit somebody
Yeah.
in the face and kind of be like what, like
Yeah.
that's the goal in a way in terms of the way you market something.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing 101 with the Ion Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just become branding experts at this point, which is the original thing that we roasted.
Yeah. Now we're full on creative directors.
No, it's just interesting how it developed to me from, like if you just even watch movies from the 70s, I mean, obviously, like they can be fast paced if they're action movies, but just like the general moment to moment pacing is completely different than it is now. Like the way we interpret reality is completely different now.
Everything's. I mean, as far as like movies that artistically inspire me, I think the 70s were absolutely like without question the best era of movies. But I am not like, what do you call it?
Not a
A
huge
cinema lover. Like I don't.
Cinephile.
I'm a cinephile. Thank you. I'm not a cinephile. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not like the most. My palette is not the most. I don't know. I just like the good stuff, I don't go to the theater and watch every movie that comes out.
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
like.
You don't
I don't
watch
do
movies
that.
that we would rate grain.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking
exactly.
about. We have a new rating system for movies.
Oh yeah.
And
One of the tiers is just grain.
It's just
which
grain,
is like you
which
saw
is like-
repertory cinema.
Oh,
is
grain?
Yeah,
Grain.
Like,
where it's like it might have been
Grain.
good. I don't really know. It was ultimately grain.
yeah, it's all we know about it is that it was on film. It was
Right.
showcased on 35.
Do you think that people use that as a way of sort of distracting from the fact that they made a bad movie? Like they'll just shoot it on film to make it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Grain.
And so that's when you would say that is the grain.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool choice, but it is also a crutch for sure. I think. you
Yeah,
know,
a crutch. That's the exact word that I was. Yeah. Yeah.
it's an aesthetic crutch. I mean, like, but at the same time, it's something that does entice me to see a movie. If something was shot on film, I'm probably more likely to see it than if something shot on digital.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if it's an art house movie and it was shot on film, it's like, because you do have to jump through more hoops to do it now. So I'm like, what? Because I kind of like hate watching it. I'm like, why did they do this?
Yeah.
That's randomly why I'm watching it, is because I'm like, why the fuck would they do that?
Right. You're trying to see if it
In-
actually
in
serves the movie
2021,
or
yeah.
if it's just
And it almost never does. Sometimes it does,
yeah.
but 9 times out of 10, it's just like
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
bullshit. Get
Mhm.
into the festival, lot fodder. It's nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel so torn on it. Like,
It looks. I mean, it fucking looks sick.
I mean,
let's be
no,
real,
I mean,
but-
if you shoot on, in my opinion, 35 millimeter, it's like psychedelic almost to me looking. It's like so vivid sometimes, but I also believe that you could probably do that without actually doing it. Like everyone says you could easily emulate it, but like I also don't care about aesthetics or want to make something that looks like I did that much. Like,
Here's a weird
care
thing.
more about other
Succession.
things.
Succession's shot on 35 millimeter.
Really?
And nobody even realizes that.
that's what
Which
I'm
is
saying.
sort of why it's like, why then?
No, but
like,
that's
I
cool.
don't even really like. I don't like the way that show looks at all. It's like kind of why I had trouble getting through it.
Yeah.
I think
Or
that's
the way it's
cool.
shot, like the zooms and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Like
I don't like the way
that,
it looks.
If I was gonna shoot on film, I would want it to look like 90s movie shot on film,
Right.
like almost digital, basically.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want it to be like, oh, she's trying to look like
right.
this kind of direct.
Yeah,
like
she
this,
was born 20 years before she was.
Yeah.
Thinking I really love the look of.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this. What did you like the look of?
It was Cachet. Oh, because
Yeah.
that's like I don't know what that was shot on, but it's like pretty digital looking, but it's not.
there's like something
That
in
was-
between digital and
Yeah,
analog.
it was like one of those weird. I don't know. Do you know? What
I'm
they're
not
showing?
sure. I'm not positive.
I'm gonna look it up.
Well, there's a weird thing that happens with 35, where like the 35 of the 90s is different than the 35 because Kodak
Yeah.
still makes 35 now, but it's just like ultra crisp. There isn't grain. There's not you will see no like when you watch Succession. Do you see grain? I don't see any grain.
I don't see any grain at all.
There's no grain at all. So there's almost I think it's bossed up that they shoot
I
it
wouldn't
on
even
film.
give it a grain.
But it is sort of like why are we even doing this anymore if it's so close? Digital actually looks objectively better. Like there's the
right, there's more
resolution's
color.
better.
Yeah,
There's more detail. Like it's the technology is just literally better.
it is.
Aesthetically though, the 35 that Kodak was making in the 90s, because we're 20, 30 years away from that now, seems so sick because of the retromania of like how aesthetics feel cool to hipsters.
Well, I feel
us.
like it felt more like real life, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is why I like it, but it still had that sort of psychedelic depth and crispness.
When were you born?
When was I born?
Yeah.
1996.
That's part of why it feels like real life to you, is because the stuff you grew up on was shot on film. Like we associate that with like I really believe this because like whenever like I watched Philadelphia for the first time like 2 years ago, and I was like, wow, that's a real movie. Like it felt like I was returning home. I was like, that's what it's supposed to feel like. And I think part of that is like maybe I saw part of it on TV when I was a little kid or something, or like my lexicon for everything that I watched growing up was just shot in this particular way. Whereas people who were born in like 2010,
Right.
they're growing up on on a phone, so it's like that's going to be the return.
So this, I mean, I don't know. This just says it was shot using HD video cameras. Does that mean
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Video. Yeah.
There was a special.
It could be tape video.
That's what I was thinking. It was like
That's what I meant, like in
Yeah.
between almost.
exactly. And I feel like
Yeah.
but more to what you're saying, we grew up with looks like that. So that's
Yeah.
probably why it appealed to me. Yeah.
Exactly.
When's Cachet like 02?
Oh yeah,
makes
honestly it
sense.
probably is like not
that
mini
time
DVD.
period is the best. It's like
2005.
2005.
But
Yeah, it's still possible that
Yeah.
that's how it was. Yeah, some sort of like tape HD kind of thing. All the
Yeah.
Lily Choo Choo was shot on something like Tattoo, and it is that to me it's the best looking kind of thing. My new thing is like the movies that are shot and cut digitally that they film and then just make a print of the edit. Like I think that is just essentially just putting a filter on, like shooting
Yeah.
the digital cut and then just like get a little grain on there at the end.
Yeah, I know.
I'll look this up later. But
I
Yeah.
always say it would be funny to shoot on film and then go into the online edit and be like, okay, make this look as digital as you possibly can.
Oh,
Like,
that's funny. Yeah, I haven't even thought of that. How would you do? How could you?
I don't know.
Like motion tracking. Yeah, I don't know.
You would have, like change the frame rate and like super,
change it to 30
super
frames
sad.
per second.
I don't
and
even know. But someone eventually is going to ask for that. Like it's going to happen. That's going to be its own look, I'm sure. Everyone's always trying to be different.
Well, hold up. You make music too, right? No.
Nonchalantly, yes.
But that's making.
yeah,
music.
yeah. No, I like for fun play music. Yeah.
Is it a pursuit that you will continue, or is this just a hobby?
Oh, I mean, it's always been just a hobby and something that I enjoy. I feel like I'll never have a I feel like I'll never go to therapy or anything. I feel like I'll always just play music in private, and
Yeah.
that'll be.
You want to keep it in that sacred.
It's not sacred. It's just I just naturally want to do that when I'm by myself, and if something extreme is bothering me, I don't know. It's just always been the thing to do, and I'm not like good at it by any means or know how to play anything well. But it's just I'm just trying to make anything that passes as music, and it's just fun.
Are you suicide bombing in the music realm?
No, not at all.
Just fucking around.
That's like if I would never put pressure on myself in any way about that. I would never be like, okay, you need to wake up and you need to crank out 10 songs. It's purely recreational, and I would never want to even try to make it into a career, because that would just ruin it. I wouldn't be able to think of anything.
Yeah.
What about you?
To be continued.
Okay.
But you do want to do that with film. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm like embarrassed to say that, but
you're on what started as a film podcast, so.
I know. How cool am I? I'm like,
makes
oh,
sense.
that's cool. That's right.
The listeners will like that.
That's cool. No, that makes me feel very legit and very cool. So I appreciate that.
No, I mean, we've had people on here who literally don't have any interest in movies or making them, or they don't know anything about them. So this is actually refreshing in a way.
Oh wow.
Also, I'd like that you're not a cinephile. It's interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the good stuff of everything. Like, I'm not a file of anything.
Not an audio file, not a
Not a
cinephile.
pedo. I am not any of the files. But
No, I like that.
I just there are like specific things and specific directors, I guess you could say, that like really really mean a lot to me. But just overall, it's not like, oh, film, like I love film, like I just burst out the womb of the director. Like, I'm not one of those people that talk like that. I don't know, I like making stuff with my friends and about things that inspire me, and
Sounds a lot
it's
like,
pretty simple.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like Cassavetes.
Why are you smirking?
It was just funny.
I mean, I'm sure every
it still is the best
person
spirit
says
to
that
have.
they love him, but I actually do. I think his movies are great. I love
They're some of the
Opening
best.
Night.
Not over or underrated Cassavetes, neither.
You think is he under or
Yeah, I kind of want to get some over-unders.
Oh, I like that. I can't, but what if it's just neither? I think he's appropriately
Yeah, I think
rated.
He's
Cassavetes.
Okay, that's
He's
the third
definitely
option.
rated.
I feel like he's
rated.
very respected for what he does. I don't think he needs more.
I agree.
He doesn't need more. Who's overrated to you?
I can't
already
say.
tell what that
I can't
smile
say.
means.
No, I
think we
can't.
all know what that smile
No,
means.
it means nothing. What are you talking about? I have nothing
If there's any name coming to any listener's mind or what viewer's mind, we won't say it. No, I'm kidding.
No, there's
He
actually.
didn't even say anything. Come
No,
on.
there's nothing in my mind. I think. No, it's okay. So every time I go public about
Every
my
time you go
opinions,
public.
when I go public to my 20 Twitter followers,
Yeah.
my mom, she calls me like in tears, being like, "You cannot talk down about other people that are just trying to like do their
No,
work."
that's very fair. We
And-
should do underrated. Who's
Yeah,
underrated?
true.
But you have no idea. Like I have
But we know
I have
who you were
veins
thinking of.
popping out of my head
Yeah,
right
but you
now,
could-
wanting to talk about like all the things I don't like. Like
Yeah.
I think you should just well, in my opinion, it's okay to publicly say what you think is overrated if you're punching up. Okay, you know what I mean? If someone's like really just someone's really, if it's actually this kind of independent, they're
Yeah.
just trying to do their thing. I feel that sentiment.
no, I really, really respect people just making things, because so many people say they want to or they're going to and they don't. And so yeah, I respect that, but I think that there are people that just make objectively bad things and everyone sort of collectively pretends
Who
to
is it?
like
Who the fuck is it then? I need to hear it then.
no, there's so
No,
many.
you
but
don't
like,
have to. You don't have to.
but I mean,
You're
for
already half going in on it.
No,
it.
continue.
they're just sort of things that people all collectively pretend to love and that are great, and it's like I'm sorry, so many things. But I mean, like I still haven't seen Lady Bird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I can't like get behind anything that is like in a woman in film category. It makes me it like actually like stabs
Are you a woman
me in
in
the
film?
heart.
We should have
No,
asked.
I'm not. I don't want anything to do with that kind of thing ever. It like actually hurts me deeply, profoundly.
It hurts the culture.
But yeah, that's just one example. I mean, there are just so many things like that, musically and in movies. But good, all the power to them. Like I have no movies out. So who am I to?
I actually think it's easier in music for shit to be super overrated because I think that making movies is so fucking hard to begin with. It kind of I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm just like, if I even know about anything, like good for whoever made that shit because that was really fucking hard. Even if I don't fuck with
I
it.
do
Music is,
generally
like,
think that it's kind of a miracle to me that anything exists, but
musically, it's like it's not sometimes a miracle. It's just like a lot of money and a lot of prestige.
Yeah,
and a lot of
everyone
vanity.
has. Yeah, absolutely. I think movies are completely different. It is a miracle for a movie to get made. Anyone can make music, and anyone can like have a connection to like some like wealthy person that's gonna like I don't know. So
and that exists in film, but like up until the time you like premiere your movie, it's like pretty fucking thankless.
yeah, but you have to make a movie, and it has to be good still, and people aren't gonna just like you can't fake the reviews. It's like you can sort of buy streams by having the advertising and all that promotional
well, if you pay
stuff.
us a hefty sum, you can fake your reviews on the Ion Pod.
Oh yeah.
If any of you filmmakers want us to give you a good review,
yeah, we'll stick the Discord onto the letterbox just for a small fee.
Yeah, just become a patron.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can.
Yeah.
But we're very excited to see what comes of this feature.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Something is going to happen.
But wait, I'm curious. You say you're not. You don't really think aesthetically. That's what you said.
No, I don't, and I'm trying to elevate things and take aesthetic things into account, but it is just not it's not natural to me in any way.
Well, then how do you think?
I think about like sort of creating environments where I can get performances that I want and with characters that inspire me, and like pretty much nothing beyond that. I sort of resent things being aesthetically pleasing in movies. I've always found that boring.
Sounds like you're a fan of the gritty.
I mean, I'm a fan of being entertained. It's not, so
Right,
it's not even like, oh,
Yeah.
it looks gritty, I like it. I mean, I love the Jackass movies. Like, I literally, on the most basic level, I love being
gritty.
entertained, and I love characters, like real characters.
No, I think like, but gritty is just as much an aesthetic as some like Kubrick worship is an aesthetic. You know? What I mean?
Oh, of course.
So,
And I love
that's not what I'm
reality.
picturing. That's why I was actually what you're describing to me does sound like comedy. It's like a lot about personality and characters.
Performance.
Yeah, performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the corniest thing I've ever said, I'm pretty sure, but I see like the stupid videos I've made as like souvenirs of like the best days I've ever had, basically like hanging out with people I really like, and having that souvenirs like sort of I don't know, it's like even if I didn't have that, it still would have been worth it, because like I just like having a good time with people, basically, and I think it's fun making things.
Yeah.
And just like putting my friends in really weird situations, like having Steven like running around with a ventriloquist doll, getting hit by a car, like doing all this, like just being dumb, basically.
Yeah.
And then having a video to like reminisce that, like what is cooler than that.
Yeah, no, it's like why we all grew up on like YouTube videos and shit. It's just like
Yeah.
a video of something happening or somebody acting crazy.
It's because I grew up on YouTube videos, and I just like being entertained, and it's really not deep. My love of movies, like that's it.
Yeah.
But I really respect people like who take in all the lenses into account and like what camera they're shooting on and the colors, blah, blah, blah. Like I would like to elevate things.
That's what it is.
But would you like to, or do you think you feel like you?
I would
have
like to without compromising any other part of what
you
I'm
just
telling
need
you.
one of those people on your team.
Exactly.
Let them fucking
Exactly.
deal with
Let
it. Don't
them
get caught
think
up in
about it.
gear
I don't
shit.
want to think about it. I just
You
have to
shouldn't.
like.
You really. I think it's a flaw
Well,
too.
Kaveh doesn't. This is exactly what we were talking about. How
Kaveh
Kave's
doesn't-
movies have like no aesthetic.
But it would
His
have
shit
to
could
be
use a
someone that
bump
really
up.
understands. It would have to be someone that really understands what you're saying. Is that I don't want people to look outrageous. Like I don't really want people to be thinking about what anything looks like, but still have it look good. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into. Like I don't hang out with like the Gia Coppola crew of people in LA that are all just like like pastel and like I never want to make stuff like that.
Yeah, like gels on lights and shit.
No, I don't want any of that colored lighting type thing
Yeah,
ever. Like it's so.
I'm not fucking with that shit either.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't like.
Also, it had its
that.
moment.
Well,
we had a solid 2 years of that shit.
We did.
Photo shoots.
No,
of,
it's-
like,
well,
the 70s like glossy light.
Right.
Fuck that.
But this takes it into a new territory. There's a difference between this Kaveh thing we're explaining, where there's this like it's about his character and his storytelling, blah blah blah, and there's absolutely no aesthetic. But then there's also this other thing that we talk about, which is no aesthetic as aesthetic.
Yeah,
which is very interesting.
Right,
to me.
and that's like also kind of bad.
See, that's what I like.
we're into that. It's like
That's
it's like
what I like.
Seinfeld, kind of our shit. What else is like?
Well,
that?
the way I like first thought of that concept was listening to REM. I was like, this is a band
Yes,
with
perfect
who
example.
aestheticized having no aesthetic.
Which is why when I grew up, I like found them uninteresting, and then like I had a
And
breakthrough
then-
moment. I was
exactly,
like, this
same.
is the most next level shit of all
I think
time.
I agree with you guys. And I think what I'm saying is that if the style of it becomes distracting to the entertainment value, or like what the characters are doing, then it doesn't. It's not serving anything in my opinion. I just don't want it to be a distraction. But yes, there is absolutely an art to the intentional no style.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like in your face, like they're trying to be
They're not
like
flexing it.
Totally. Well, the other thing
Yeah.
that I like about the no is that, I mean, honestly, in a way, in the early days, Talking Heads, I think, did it too.
They did do it initially.
But by the
yeah.
time Remain in Light, they
were doing some bullshit.
But, yeah. But early Talking Heads, I would say, first two records at least, yeah, maybe Fear of Music is where it changed, was also no aesthetic. But the thing I like about it is I feel like artists who do that arrive there from a really kind of smart distillation of various influences, where they take just the kind of essence from their influences to have like created this new non-aesthetic, as opposed to like, you know, the retromania nostalgic kind of mining your influences like on an aesthetic level. It's like capturing the spirit of influences and kind of just
it should be
imbuing
more of a
this aestheticless
subconscious
thing
sort of
into-
thing
yeah,
that's
exactly.
happening, and not a conscious like, oh, we're gonna use this color and this like exact look to make it look, you know.
Yeah.
But in a way, you're making YouTube videos still with YouTube video aesthetic, right? That's the influence.
I
We're
mean,
all
not
influenced.
necessarily. Just the spirit. Just
No,
the
but
spirit of
that's
YouTube
what I'm saying.
videos.
That's exactly what I'm
The
saying.
spirit of
That's exactly
YouTube
what I'm
is
saying.
there.
You figured out what made YouTube videos work for you, and you took that.
I guess so. I mean, honestly, I've never even thought of what I'm doing is related to YouTube, but just as far as the entertainment value of things is that it's not, I'm just saying what I'm doing is not that deep. I'm not trying to take a stand about anything or really say anything political.
Right.
But yeah, YouTube, it's great.
You sound like
I still watch more YouTube than movies or
No, I mean
TV.
YouTube is probably the most powerful.
I mean,
form
think of how I
filmmaking.
found Doug, obviously on YouTube.
YouTube,
So
Right. Yeah, that is a perfect example.
There you
I
go.
watched like a 10-minute video today. It's a compilation of this. There's this bridge in North Carolina that's really short. It's like a few inches shorter than most bridges, so trucks can't fit under it. But it's too expensive to raise the bridge because it's been there for like a century.
Yeah.
So at least once a month, there's a huge accident of a semi like colliding into
Oh,
the
wow.
bridge. Someone did like
At
this
least
10-year
once a month.
time lapse compilation of semi trucks crashing
Fire.
into the bridge. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I highly recommend
Wow.
looking this up.
You
But
said
that's what I love about YouTube, shit like that.
I know.
I think it's like it's really high art to me.
it is.
no, it's a gold mine.
Yeah.
You sat
Obviously,
back up.
that's a real hot take on YouTube.
I'm a little disappointed that you sat back up. I thought you were gonna be the first guest to ever end the pod in a complete horizontal.
No one ever lays on
No,
the couch,
yeah, I'm
which
like,
I don't
that's
understand. Because it's like a
I always give
therapist
people
thing,
the
right?
option, but like that's the way to
And
do
we start
it.
really getting into it, and
I
it's
was-
like we can go
Yeah, now,
therapy
look,
mode.
now she's getting good.
I was easing into it. Like I was doing a slight rotation so I could end up like this eventually.
Yeah. No, but then you reversed it, and I was like, oh, there it goes.
Well, no, I was
Another one.
getting ready for the final.
the final.
That was
moment.
a part of the final
Yeah.
phase. I
Oh,
was
so you were gonna,
positioning
like-
my legs that way
Oh,
to
I
get
see.
back
And
here.
you fucked it up.
Oh, god damn it. Directors should never get too involved. Just let it happen. I do like when the pods end with a direct address to the camera.
Yeah, true. Oh, wait, there was something else I wanted to talk about, though. I had it in the back of my mind. Oh, it was something you said in your interview where you also talked about
This
us.
interview?
Big shouts. No, the interview where you talked about us. What was it for?
Oh, the passerbys interview.
Oh.
You give us big shouts.
Yeah, you gave us big shouts.
Oh, I did.
That's why we asked you on, actually.
Oh my
'cause-
god.
Because
It's all working
we're
out.
all always victims of flattery.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so glad I did that.
But you said something, I can't remember, I don't want to bastardize what you said, but you said something about thinking about how Robert Altman wasn't concerned with himself when making movies. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I actually have no idea.
I really wanted to get into this because it was a really good
I
point.
mean,
Yeah,
we can
you
talk
brought
about
one.
Robert Altman. Do you know what the general gist of what I was trying to convey?
Let me just find it.
Yeah, find it. He's brought this up more than once to me,
It
actually.
got me thinking.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm glad that I said something that made
You
somebody
also said that we
think
were your
about-
best friends,
Yeah, no, well, of course.
which I was like, wow, it's time for her to hit the couch. Look, here you are. You've
Mm-hmm.
appeared.
Feel best friend already.
I think it was something about like the way he's perceived.
MASH is one of my favorite movies, by the way. That's like a
Fire.
movie I watch every couple of months.
That's an underrated movie to me. Even though people know Altman is goated.
Because so many scenes from the rehearsals made it in, and there's just so much genuine laughter between Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould in that movie that like nothing makes me laugh harder than the
It's
first
so sick.
hour of that movie.
I
Once it gets
know.
to the football game, I kind of want to stop watching
Yeah.
it, honestly. But I push past it.
It's worth it.
It is. It gets good again.
It gets good. Altman does that. There's hills and valleys to those
Yeah.
big, long, epic, wide shot ass movies. Read it.
You say,
Lay it on us.
there's no way Robert Altman wasted brain space trying to angle his legs in a selfie so it looked like he had a thigh gap.
Sorry. Yeah. No, that's
Listening
true.
in interviews with my favorite filmmakers just kept me in check and reminded me of who I am and who I want to be.
Although-
That was really good.
No, that it's a good
Thing to
quote.
talk about.
Although I would argue that Altman had a thigh gap.
You would argue that he what?
He
A
did
thigh
have
He had a
gap?
He's not
gap.
thinking
He's
about it. He's not-
skinny guy. Yeah, he wasn't thinking about. That's true.
But this got me just thinking about the ways in which being online have maybe subconsciously damaged our artistic output.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, now I remember that exactly now. And yeah, man, where do I even begin? To be completely honest, I'm in the appropriate position right now to
Yeah.
be getting deep with you right now.
What
But
it up?
That's why I wanted to get to this spot now.
over the last 2 years, I felt quite crushed by not society or anything, but I just over quarantine, I think a lot of us looked at our cell phones too much.
Yeah.
And I had like an Adam and Eve moment of like awakening and enlightenment. Like, oh, people care about like being thin, and people care about like looking a certain way. And I swear to God, like I was uniquely unbothered by those kinds of like worries that females and pressures that people have. I don't know. I think when you're like younger and or whatever, you just are worried about less. But over quarantine, I like realized that there's like so much pressure to be a certain way. And I honestly felt really sick over the quar, like realizing like, oh, I'm supposed to look a certain way anyway. And like I would keep myself in check from like spiraling down these like Instagram rabbit holes by listening to podcasts basically of just like directors that I really love and watching MASH and movies that and just trying to like stay in check with who I actually am, because it's so easy. And like it's easy to get lost in things that really don't matter. And like every time I caught myself like having some sort of vain thought or worry, I would check in with the things that I love most, because there's no way that Robert Altman worried about having a thigh gap.
Right.
And like I don't want people to think of me as like a female that like posts photos of herself on Instagram. Like I only want people to think of me for like the stuff that I'm making. I feel so tortured by like having to like have a presence on there, and and like feeling like you have to like be attractive. Like I honestly just wish that I had no body at all, and that I could just be like putting out work. And I don't know, there's no way that he was worried about like how he looked.
No,
and that's so cool.
I think about this all the time, and especially when you're doing artistic output, and you can. Okay, obviously, artists forever read reviews and press about themselves, and opinions about themselves in the press, and that could affect their output. But obviously that's just that
but
kind
they
of
were
thing
thinking about their output. I'm saying
exactly.
like if that is a healthy thing to be thinking about, and it's not healthy to be worrying about superficial nonsense, which is just like, it's so easy. And I hate to say it, because I was just saying like fuck woman in film movement, but also just like there's just so everything is designed to make me want to think about like what I need to buy, or how can I be like sexy, blah, blah, blah. And I want to stay away from that as much as I can, and only think about my work. I think
totally,
because that's going to go away, and and I just need to like have my work, and I need to be comfortable with that sooner than later.
Right. Well, I think this is a problem that a lot of people have online. It's like even has a name, like main character syndrome, where you think of yourself and your life as a character that you're presenting via social media, and how you get responses to that, and like what that does for you, kind of like on this kind of superficial, just kind of dopamine feedback loop thing. And then from that quote, I started thinking about how, because I was listening to "If You See Her, Say Hello" by Bob Dylan. And I love like sappy, like lovesick, just like out of your mind love songs, like my favorite type of songwriting.
Absolutely, yes.
And I was like, I wonder if guys would even like write a song like this these days, because they're like afraid of being like called some like a cuck online. I'm serious though, even like subconsciously, like people are afraid to be more vulnerable because they're afraid of how they'll get like roasted online about it. And so I started thinking about how not only internet discourse, but just like the access you have, and that the access that anyone has to very amateur, anyone who wants to's opinion on what you do. And because when you see that opinion online, you know that anyone else could see that opinion too, and it then just enters people's perception of you. And that even subconsciously
that's
just
too deep for me,
starts
bro.
to like ball up inside of you. And I do think it has a negative impact on it must have a negative impact on a lot of people's outcome, because they're afraid to be vulnerable. I think that might be why a lot of, at least in the music realm, like music became there's lots of irony, there's lots of a movement away from.
Do you mean more people are afraid to be sincere?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. People are very
advocates for
guarded,
being sincere,
or they use these aesthetic things as crutches, like we say, because it's not even so. It maybe doesn't even fully serve as a crutch, but it serves as something else to kind of cheekily lean on, to counteract any sincere.
It's all a career move.
Yeah. I don't have like an
True
answer.
that.
Of like how you,
No, I think it's just like, I think being aware of it, like in the way that you're aware of it right now, like you're sort of expressing what he's saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think self-awareness is like the key to unlocking lots of life's problems, but I think this one almost very directly, that like once you realize that like, oh, maybe I don't have to, like you have to realize that you don't have to do that. The culture is pressuring everyone to do that. You feel like you have to, but maybe you don't.
No, but you take 1 hour, you remove yourself from it for 5 seconds and you forget. It only exists when you're in it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist when it's not there. And so I really try not to waste my time. I really feel like an urgency to just like work as much as possible. It's such a waste of time. Everyone I really respect they're invisible on the internet, and like that is what I would like to be eventually. Like to not feel like I have to be updating people on my life in any way.
You don't have to.
No, and I don't, but I do feel a pressure to, because so much of what I do is like in the commercial world, and I feel like I need to be like always like showing, look at this thing that I edited or directed to like get the next gig, so I can keep on making the things that I really like.
I know, it's a thing in music too. It's like record labels want to see your online presence. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm trying to like I'm trying to get music here. Yeah, I want to avoid that at all costs. It's like the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's gonna make people. I mean, it's not gonna make people. The music is what's gonna make people interested. But ultimately, like if the music's there, it's there, and like who cares if you have a presence online? Like that makes you exciting.
You have to function as like a little PR machine for yourself, but then that like bleeds into your own like vision of yourself and the way and your own output. And I don't know. I just started thinking about that kind of thing. Essentially, just the idea that Bob Dylan was definitely not worried about being called a cuck. And that was very helpful.
Yeah.
And I wish we could get back to that. And I don't know if it's totally possible. I mean, this is a little idealistic what you guys are talking about. No, I don't think so, though, because I think, what you were saying about you like to play music as this like escape, as this hobby thing. That's why I always say I think everybody should play an instrument, even if they have absolutely zero musical ambition,
like
or if they're
anyone can
horrible at
play
it, doesn't matter.
instrument.
It's like, it's the best way to kind of do this thing where you're checking out of this inner connectivity thing.
Yeah. I used to play music all day, every day, basically, like when I wasn't at work. And I remember like thinking, like, what would I be doing like without this? Like, I cannot imagine what life is without this. And now it's been like a year since I've actually done that, just because I've been so like in movie making mode or whatever. And like, I don't know, I miss it more than anything. It's like, I don't know. I really think that I think you're right. Everyone should do it. And I have no training, and it's still like, who gives a shit? Yeah, no,
it's not about even, it's to me, I don't mean like do it so that you can like be disciplined and get good at something. Some people say shit like that, and that's not what I mean at all.
No, just for the joy of it. Exactly. It's just a great thing to do.
It's like a universal way to kind of trance out, like leave ego, leave leave this idea of yourself in the context of the world. It really is like, it's like the healthiest way to go inside yourself, I think.
I think you're doing that with film stuff as well, though. As much as you have to like promote yourself or whatever, like it seems like from the little that I know of your film work, like you're having fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't like the greatest thing ever. It brings tears to my eyes, like how much fun I have doing this stupid stuff. So
you can say shit.
No, it's because my mom. I'm 25, and my mom still calls me to yell at me if I swear on Twitter. So
my mom.
Or if you say who the overrated filmmakers are.
Yeah.
I really hope she doesn't see this, but yeah. So
we're pretty deep in the episode at this point.
She
should be die hard to be.
She doesn't like me. My mom hates me, so there's no way you made it this far, and if you did, I'm sorry. But
Is there anything else
Cursing's
you
good
want
for the soul, though.
It is. No, it is. We believe in profanity
Yeah.
to some degree.
It's funnier when you bleep it out, obviously.
Yeah. No, like we don't. I don't love it in scripts, but I like it in real life.
Yeah, no, in normal.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't like it in
banter.
scripts?
Well, this is my
We've talked about
my
this,
biggest
yeah,
pet
just like-
peeve is the use of the word fucking in scripts. I think actors almost never deliver it properly, and it immediately sounds like a script. It takes me out of any scene.
It's
where
funny that you're
That's
watching
so
Succession now. 'Cause it's like the
Succession-
crown jewel of this shit.
I'm only in the first season, and I gave up because it's literally like every other line. It's insane.
I know.
I'm on episode 1 as well as of last night, by the way.
Yeah,
so-
I'm on episode like 6 or something. But I'm not. I don't know. I'll keep trying. I'm not enraptured.
It's a good show. Yeah, I mean, I had aesthetic problems with. I don't like the fast zoom in whatever like million camera thing, but like it's a well written, well acted
just don't
show.
I was
They-
kind of impressed by that. I was like,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
your
like,
shit.
They
wow.
need
No,
less-
it's not.
They're like handheld.
They need to say fucking. They need to say
Doesn't
fucking
it?
less. They really do. Like. More
No, yeah,
so than
Succession's
any
just like a
script I've ever seen in
YouTube
my life.
video. It's like a really good, well edited.
I'll check it out.
It's like a good channel.
I'll keep trying as well. I don't like having to try with anything. I feel like it's bad if I have to
Get into it.
get into it. But I understand waiting at least 2 episodes to know.
I had to get into Mad Men, but it's my favorite.
Really?
My favorite
Really?
show of all time. Yeah.
Mad Men hit me instantly.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I watched it while it was on.
Oh.
Like, cause I was like pretty young when it was
Right.
on. I was like, "Is this sick?"
Right.
Is this
No, because
Yeah.
that was people forget that about Mad Men. Like when it was on, because it was on AMC. It wasn't on like HBO and shit. Like people hadn't made up their mind about if it was sick or not. Yeah,
Right,
It was
So
like
sort
the
of like this is
pilot.
an interesting show. Yeah, like second episode was like Breaking Bad. Like Breaking Bad. Like those, like 2 of the best shows. Obviously, they took a while for people
Goated.
to be like the beginning of Breaking Bad slow as fuck. I couldn't even believe it was on TV. But
goated, though.
it gets goated.
I'm the only person that has in like the world that hasn't watched Breaking Bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Better Call Saul's more. your speed.
And
I
I've
think-
seen Better Call Saul.
No,
That's the
I-
weird
I
thing.
think Better Call Saul is like the greatest.
We think it's better.
I think
Really?
it's better for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, Breaking Bad is like blatantly sick. It's amazing.
It's blatantly amazing, but
like Better Call Saul is
I have
more
such
interesting.
a soft spot for Better Call Saul.
It's the best.
I think it's maybe the best recent show.
I'm also just
Good to
I'm
know.
a huge Odenkirk fan.
Yeah, we love Bob.
Goat.
Damn.
Well wishes to Bob.
Yeah,
He
how's
was
doing?
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big shouts to Mr. Show.
Big
Yeah,
shouts to Mr.
Mr.
Show.
Show.
Damn.
I recently just watched the entire show.
Oh God.
Talk about comedy. Really
I got
advanced.
the DVD set.
Well,
Big shouts to Mr. Show.
thank you for making me lasagna.
Oh yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you for coming here and doing a bit.
Oh yeah. Thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you want to
Yeah, do you just
get
want to
off
say
your chest?
anything else?
Anything, anyone, or
Out to the
anything you
people
want
out
to give
there?
big shouts to? Yeah.
No, I think I shout out to Mikey's. Shout out to the studio. Shout out to Jerry Finger. And yeah, thank you guys.
Actually, one final question. Who do you think is an overrated filmmaker? Just give me one. Just give me one.
Greta Thunberg.
All right. Thank
All right.
you, Charlotte.
Big shouts.
You're welcome.
Charles. Peace.